What is up, everybody, and welcome to the. Yes, he's back. He's back.
I was hoping that it didn't see me like popping up from the below. I was hiding underneath the table.
There you go. What's up, everybody? Welcome. The ice ball is back. That makes me happy. I love it. But welcome everyone to the Let Me Get That Potograph annual holiday spectacular. And right. And today we've got an awesome show for you guys. Once again, our annual holiday show, which would not be complete without that damn ice ball returning. Thank you, ice ball.
Oh yes, the ice ball.
And then also my my co-host Scott.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Oh yeah, I'm not important at all. It's all about the ice ball.
I was more worried about saying hi to the ice ball, honestly.
Well, which is part of the reason that I started off with the ice ball. Just kind of pop it out.
Good move. Because I threatened termination after this if you showed up on the show without it. So
I know, which is a little crazy. And just to let you everybody know, I'm not going with Macallan tonight. I'm going with an 18-year-old Lefroy.
Okay.
Which is an Islay Scotch, which are very, very peaty Scotches. Or as my brother-in-law likes to say, it's like drinking a golf course.
Sure. And on tonight's special occasion, I'm going with lemonade in Fiji water. Not regular water, which some people would say is a little off-putting, but no, Fiji water. So,
And this coming from the boonies of North Carolina, I'm surprised you can actually get Fiji water down there.
We got connections. But anyway, what's up, everybody? Episode 171, our live annual holiday show. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Guys, tonight we are going to have open phone lines. If you would like to call in, hang out on the show. This is our holiday, quote-unquote, party of the year, since this is our staff. We don't have 25 cameramen to appease or anything like that. It's us. So the phone lines are going to be open tonight. I just put the link in the chat. Feel free to click that link, call in, video or audio anytime. We do have Scott. We got an awesome guest tonight. I'm really excited about it. One of my favorite people in the hobby. A lot of you guys know him as Pat Geek. A lot of you also know him now as the new Tracy Hackler. Maybe that's worn off, maybe not.
I don't know. It's been, we introduced him last Christmas as the new Tracy Hackler, and I think it's been a year.
Yes. This has become a Christmas tradition.
I know, but I'm thinking he's kind of carved his own path at this point. And don't get me wrong, I love Tracy.
No. He has.
That's
what I want to talk to him about a year later. He's been there now for a year, and so it's going to be fun. They've made a lot of strides in social media since he's been there, which I expected him to do. Also, guys, tonight, just to let you know, to start off, we are going to be opening and doing an episode of Let Her Rip. We will transform the studio all high tech and go boom back into Let Her Rip territory and open up select draft picks football. And then we'll be having some giveaways on our socials after the show's over for some of the cards in this box. And I've got some questions in regards to why this looks like a NASCAR car when Jeff gets on the show, which we'll talk to him in just a little while. But man, I think there's only one thing to start out with, and that's as my son would be singing in his room right now, World Cup. I mean, Jesus, that's all I heard him sing for 2 weeks. But the World Cup, man, dude.
I'm hesitating to say anything about it because everything has pretty much already been said.
Sure.
That is it. I watched and I liked the fact that the time difference between here and Qatar was so great that like the last game was on at 1:00. So I was able to sit in my office while I was working, and I had the dual screens running, and I literally watched almost every game.
Nice.
I did not watch any of the 4 a.m. Central Time start games.
Sure.
And I usually miss the first half of the 7 a.m. Games as well. But like I watched the second half of those, and then the 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, or the 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And it was I'm gonna tell you, this was some amazing competition.
Oh yeah.
And that final game,
dude, could you ask for anything
probably greatest final game that I have ever seen.
Yes. And also the dynamic of the GOAT of all time, like the GOAT now, in my opinion, of soccer, Messi, going with a man who is really carving his path as the next Messi, and those two battling it out. I mean, that's like Jordan and LeBron. I mean, that's like Jordan and LeBron playing in a finals against each other. You know what I mean? It's a passing of the guard while watching the other one play spectacularly. It's something we're never going to see really in any sport, I don't think.
I would equate it more to be like if it was a 1-game final with Jordan versus Larry Bird.
Sure. Yeah.
That's
sure.
Probably
Jordan and Bird 1-game final. Yeah.
And that would be amazing. And I'll tell you the comeback. So for those of you that don't know, being down 2 goals in the 80th minute in soccer
might as well start to get white flags out.
Yeah, you just throw in the towel.
Yeah.
At that point, you give it
playing time.
That comeback to come back in the 80th minute, down 2 to force extra time, is actually, I think, is bigger than when the Patriots came back down like 27-3 or something like that, or 23 to whatever the number was.
Or the Vikings this week against the Colts.
Exactly.
One. Like, I mean, it's
that is a bigger comeback.
Oh, big time.
It was insane.
Well, you saw as soon as the penalty happened, as soon as he got that penalty and scored that first goal, something clicked in him where the rest of the game, Argentina looked like the underdog. They dominated that game. That in the second he got that penalty, something clicked in his head. And 2 times in that game, once at the 80th minute he scored his first goal, it still looked like they were still 7 minutes away because that's 1 goal. Great. But then to score another that quick is outlandish, and it just doesn't happen. But then in overtime, when it's in overtime and they're 3-4 minutes away, to do it again, I mean, it was they turned into the favorite being down by 1 the second that penalty happened, and it was mind-blowing to watch, and like you said, one of the greatest finals I've ever seen.
There have been
one of the most watched ever too.
Here's the craziest thing: there were only, through the entire tournament, all the group stages, the knockout rounds, there were only 2 hat tricks.
I know.
The entire time. And this is only the second time in World Cup history that somebody has scored a hat trick in the final.
And Messi had never scored past the knockout round. He never scored in any of the games ever in his career past the knockout round, and then he does this in the finals.
But this year he became one of only a handful of people who scored in every single knockout round game.
Yeah.
So like he blew that curse out of the water.
Oh yeah, big time.
And I'm cheering because before Mbappe scored the 3rd goal,
sure,
him and Messi were tied for the Golden Boot as far as goals go, but Messi had the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker was assists, and Messi had 1 more assist than Mbappe did. Yeah. So Messi was on track to win the Golden Boot until Mbappe scored that 3rd goal. So I'm not, I like both guys. I really do. But I'm like looking at that. I'm like, holy crap. He just not only sent the game to PKs where, they've got a shot to win it, but he also basically clinched the Golden Boot. It was so late in the second half of extra time that there was like no way that he was going to, that anybody was going to score again, especially, kind of how Argentina took their foot off the gas.
So, I mean, obviously we're talking about how great of a game it was and anything, and it was. But now we're coming out of the World Cup. And since that's happened, you've seen some crazy stuff happen in the card market, not only with Messi. Now, Messi's going through the roof, like I think would be expected. Mbappe's going through the roof, which I think is to be expected. But a lot of other players are going through the roof as well. And it's also extending, which we don't have to get into it too much right now because I'd like to talk to our upcoming guest Jeff about this as well. But Panini dropped their World Cup NFTs, and there was a $30,000 bounty put on it by a company, which I'll get the name up in just a moment for you. But they put a $30,000 bounty on the Messi 1-of-1 NFT. So when you see stuff like that and you see all of this going on, what do you think about the market, and what do you think this type of World Cup game does for the soccer market as it heads back into, league play here shortly?
So I was anticipating, and this is a weird year because this is the first time the World Cup's ever been played in the middle of the club season.
Right, exactly.
So normally you have this run
it's done,
through the season. You have the end of the season for a month or so, and then every 4 years you jump into the World Cup. And there's but just like with any sport, once the season is over, there's a drop off as far as the hobby goes. Right. Now, we saw a little bit of a drop off as far as the club stuff went.
Yeah.
There was there's been a little bit of a drop. Like nobody's buying Holland,
right?
Or Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, I know.
Top guys that were not in there because their countries didn't make it.
I bought during the World Cup. I'm going to be honest. We talked about it on the show. I told you guys that he was going to level out and not be paid attention to. Holland's cards actually dropped a little bit. A lot of auctions went low. About 10 of those completed sales were mine. I bought a ton of Holland during the World Cup.
Well, here's the thing, and this is where I think it's going to go nuts. So Premier League is starting this weekend,
right?
Like there's no break.
No.
Absolutely
no.
So
no break.
you have a large percentage of the Premier League players who played in the World Cup and represented countries, things like that,
right.
that have been playing and beating up their bodies and things like that for the last 30 days.
Yep.
But you've got guys like Holland and Salah, and Benzema's out for. He's La Liga, not Premier League, but it's the same concept. A lot of the La Liga guys and a lot of the Bundesliga guys were playing in their in the World Cup for their home countries. But you've got Holland on 6 weeks rest.
I know.
And he's already completely torn up, not just the Premier League, but the Champions League too. I'm really excited to see what he is going to do when he's playing against guys who are ridiculously tired because they just played an additional tournament for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah. I know.
They had the friendlies that happened beforehand as tune-up games with their, so they could drive with their teams. Then you jump right into the group stages, and then you jump into the, the knockout rounds and things like that. And you've got guys, and you also have guys that are mentally deflated because they got their asses kicked.
Exactly.
Look at some of the comments. Look at Harry Kane.
I know. Look at even some of the people on France that now they're saying they're reviewing like all the death threats that Mbappe and some other people got.
Which is look, guys, seriously, why does everything have to he was getting not only death threats, but like him and a couple of the other guys were like they're making racist comments about him. Guys, seriously,
I know
why.
Yeah,
you know what? You want to look? There's enough to get on him about. And look, you want to get on Mbappe about something, get on about it. Get on him about where the hell he was during the first 80 minutes.
Minutes of that game, yeah.
You know what? There's enough there to get on him about without having to get racist about it.
That requires thinking, though, Scott.
Yeah, there's no place. There's no place, here for that.
No,
that's just ridiculous.
It's stupid.
Yeah, but. You've got these guys that have been, they're just going to be exhausted.
They're going to be dead.
And
but
I'm looking at
for the card market, how do you see this going for, let's say, and guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Please let us know. And feel free to call in and join the show once again. Panini's Jeff Hoffer will be joining us shortly. But Scott, what for the overall market, how do you think this is going to go? Because a lot of people are saying, oh, well, the World Cup's over now, the soccer market's gone, and I kind of laugh at that because
if this were 4 years ago, I would
agree. No, I would agree.
Because it would end in the middle to end of July, and then you'd have a dead period before the club league starts.
Exactly.
This year, though, we are literally going. The final was on Sunday, And this weekend, we have games in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of the other leagues don't start till next weekend.
Yeah.
And I think there's one of the major leagues that actually doesn't start till the beginning of January.
Yeah, I think it's beginning of January, something like that.
But it's only 2 weeks, so it's not like a full off season kind of thing.
Right.
So what's going to happen? I don't know. I think it's all going to depend on how well some of these superstars come back and start playing at the club level. But you've got a problem, because you've got 3 of the biggest stars in not only the game but in the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Messi, you've got Mbappe, and you've got Neymar.
Yeah,
and granted, Brazil got knocked out, but they still made it pretty far.
Yeah, they did.
All 3 of them.
And I mean, they lost to a Cinderella team that went to the Final Four. It's not like they were beaten by some scrub.
Correct. And that's we'll talk about Morocco in a minute. But all 3 of those guys all play for the same club team, and I'm concerned for PSG because and a lot of their other players were also playing in the World Cup for not only France but for other teams as well. How tired are these guys going to be?
I know.
The rest of France's League One going to beat up on PSG for a little while because these guys they're tired, they're hurt.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be a situation where they're just going to carry everything through to the end, and Messi and Mbappe are just going to stay in form, like they have been in the tournament, and just blow everybody away?
I know, which is quite possible, but it's gonna be quite interesting, that's for sure, to see what happens here. It's an interesting market already to begin with, and I think I honestly don't think we're going to see that big of a drop off, especially of a lot of stars. And I think you're going to see a lot of people that played well in the World Cup, that because a lot of these young kids and stuff like that, they played wonderful in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be really interested to see, how some of those guys go and everything.
Well, but I also think as far as the lack of a drop off goes, I think in the collector world, a lot more people were following the World Cup this year than have been in years past.
Oh, yes.
And yes. I think it drew in a lot of new people.
And how can you not walk away from it in the end?
Exactly. And then not having a break in between the end of the tournament and the resumption of the club season, I think is going to actually carry over. So I don't see a drop off at all. I see a continued increase. It's going to be steady. It's going to be slow. It's not going to be a massive spike, but I still see an increase there. And there's some really nice products that are coming out in the next couple of weeks, especially with the younger players that are going to, I think, do really well within the market. There's a Bowman soccer product coming out for the UEFA U21 tournament, and that's going to be freaking loaded.
Oh yeah, big time.
So I'm really excited to see that, but I'm curious as to there's a couple things obviously you want to talk to Jeff about and things like that. So I think it's maybe it's a good time to bring him in.
Yes, absolutely. Well, speaking of that, let's bring him in. Mr. Pat Geek himself, Panini's Jeff Hoffer. What's up, dude?
What is up, fellas?
What's going on, Jeff?
Back.
Man, we're talking soccer cards is what I'm hearing. I love it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. I think we're one of the very few shows that actually talks about soccer cards.
You know what? At one point in time, and I'm a soccer fan light. I don't really follow any teams. I like keeping track of the big players. I enjoy collecting soccer cards, but I'm not super into any of the leagues. But man, the World Cup that's something else. That's like people being into gymnastics once every 4 years because of the Olympics. Like you wouldn't normally just turn on gymnastics on a Saturday morning, but if the Olympics are going on, you might stick around. But boy, that was an exciting tournament. And I was listening to what you guys were heading into there a couple minutes ago, and I agree. I think it brought a lot of new eyeballs from collectors into the world of soccer.
And I think, you know what, and this is kind of a bittersweet year from Panini's standpoint, because this is the final year that you guys have the World Cup stickers.
Yes.
Which has been a staple Panini product since.
Now my son will say, "Dad, can I'll be happy to have my desk back," because one of his tables right now is filled with World Cup stickers, about 10,000 of them. But yeah, I mean.
And even I normally don't touch the stickers personally, but even I got into it this year.
Yeah.
The sticker book is fun.
It is.
It is. And I like, you know what? I like the parallels that you guys did. And speaking of parallels, I got to ask, man. So Panini on social media has been tracking the black one-of-ones. You know, the stickers.
I have been in charge of tracking those. I'm very familiar with this. Yes.
So what are your thoughts on the guy that put the Hangman's Son in the album?
Well, Scott, it was bound to happen. Let's be honest. That is the beauty of the soccer. The World Cup sticker albums, is that it's fun for the whole family. Literally, you've got kids in there because, like, if you're anything like my 4-year-old son, he's obsessed with stickers far more than cards. So the fact that there were a card that was also a sticker, he was all over it. So we were, finishing up an album. I haven't got anywhere close to finishing up, but we went going team by team, because it is a big undertaking. But
it's 670 stickers or something.
670 stickers.
Yeah, and it's serious. And it's not, you aren't just going to open a box and pull 670.
No, well, you get the
stickers in there, but
you have 50 packs in the box.
Five
stickers
in a pack. Yeah.
But then 1 in every 2 has a blue parallel, so that's not going to count for the set. You've got 1 in every 26, so on average, just below 2 per box is the reds.
And then you got the packs packed with like 3 golds or 3 golds and a red. But
the golds are part of the set.
No, I know.
So those are okay. We're cool with
Drew,
that.
are you talking about the online exclusive gold parallel that Panini did, or
no? I love those.
No, I think he's
I love those. Just the regular gold sparkled.
The foil one. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about like these.
Yeah. Now those are one of the 670 though. So
correct.
Those actually count towards your 670. But
right,
it is it's an undertaking. But back to your initial question, it was bound to happen. I didn't know that it would happen to like one of the biggest hits, but it's kind of sweet. And I look at that and I think it's. If I find a silver lining, I'm happy it didn't happen to me. But if I have to find a silver lining, it was collecting versus investing at its finest. Didn't care about the condition, wanted it in their book. Helped them get a little bit closer to completing the Korean team.
Yep.
I thought it was great.
Well, but is it really completing the Korean team?
I would say that's
again, it's a parallel. It's not part of the base. But I will say I agree with it's collecting at its finest, because I've seen so many kids that are like my son's age. His soccer coach, his 2 sons, he actually took one of his sons to Qatar for the group stage, and his sons were working on the album. And I've got a stack, had a stack at this point that was about yay tall. And before they left, I'm like, I gave it to my son's coach. I'm like, here, I know your kids are working on the album. Here's here's my duplicates. See what you can do.
Right.
And, only to find out that like his kids have been trading with other kids.
Oh yeah.
Things like that. I'm like, holy crap, like this is like back in the 80s again, when we're like actually trading cards to try to build something or get a specific player. Like, this is what the hobby is all about.
Yes.
And
the stickers
you don't
really
see it. You don't see it as much with cards.
No.
Because people are like, well, I'll sell you this.
Right.
Or I'll give you 5 of these for, that one LeBron you got over there. But stickers, it's like, all right, you need this one, I need this one. Here you go. Done.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is the purity and the innocence of the hobby that comes out with the stickers. And I think Panini did a good job with them this year. Design was great. The packaging was great. the couple I graded didn't come back that great.
The stickers are tough to grade.
Stickers are
very tough to grade.
So, but it's I was actually expecting something a little bit bigger from you guys with this one, knowing it was kind of like a farewell to the World Cup sticker.
Well, I may sound ignorant here, but is Panini America losing the FIFA license? Because I was under the impression that was staying with Panini America.
So from what I read, the stickers, I don't think the cards, just the stickers, I think is moving over to Fanatics in 2026.
Well, that's news to me. I was unaware of that. But
I had read that
before I came to Panini.
I want to say I read that like 6 months ago or something like that.
Yeah. I think I heard that. I mean, I haven't seen it addressed or anything. I hope to God it doesn't, because honestly, I was about to say that it was such a good job, and it's something that I've done year and year over and over and over again. So it's something that I hope stays at Panini. And I hope it is something that you guys are able to do again. But
well, that would definitely be a bummer, because obviously the soccer stickers have a long, rich history from Europe and from our Italian brand. So
Well, stickers in general is the bread and butter of the Italian brand.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, speaking of some awesome stuff, while we continue this interview, guys, we are going to slide over into Let Her Rip territory. Our show, once again, powered by Panini, of course. And we're going to be opening up a box of select football while we talk here. Select draft picks.
And hold on really quick, Drew, before you get into this, because I know where you're going to roll with this, but I want to ask Jeff about this for a second.
Sure, yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, it came out that with Crown Royal basketball, people were able to look at the sticker on the box, the serial number on it, and based on the serial number, tell you whether or not there was going to be a kaboom in it. I'm sure you've heard that one before.
I have.
Whether or not it's that's irrelevant, but Drew and I were talking about it last week because he brought up this box of select that we were going to open tonight. And I know there is some stuff with some of the stickers and some of the products, and I'm not going to get into the details. I don't want to give it away. It's kind of my secret, but we looked at this box of select draft picks, and we noticed it's not just one sticker.
No.
We noticed that there are 4 that are on there. So Drew wanted to ask you some questions about whether or not you knew anything, not whether or not you can tell if there's something in the product.
Yeah, no, nothing about that. I kind of wanted to know, because when I looked at it, we were talking, we got this box and we were talking about doing it on this show, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, look at all these stickers. And it was right when that came out. So I looked at them more and more, and it, one's a regular college license. A couple of them are, it seems like, fringe college licenses. And so it looks like there's at least 4 different licenses for you guys to put out a college product. And I know dealing with one license is difficult enough. So the first question I had when I saw this is, how frustrating or how difficult is this to deal with collegiate products compared to others? Because it seems like this is a lot of different licenses, and is this how the NCAA is split up into these different groups as opposed to just one big deal?
Well, I should preface all of this by saying I don't deal with any of the licensing, so
sure.
This is pure speculation.
Well, that's most likely the attorneys.
Yes,
that are doing that.
And the dealings over the licensing is such a complex deal. I'm so grateful I don't have to touch any of that. But it truly is a miracle that any product makes the market with everything from the licensing, from and from just the manufacturing of the cards, and then getting autographs and everything. It is an absolute miracle that any of this hits the market. But yeah, I mean, I don't think the college licensing is quite as tricky as the pro licensing, but
which is weird, because with all of those stickers on there, there's clearly multiple different college licenses that you have to get in order to put out a product like this, as opposed to like one blanket NCAA license.
Well, you guys picked up on it. The 4 stickers you saw, that indicates there's a kaboom in this box.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah. The 4 stickers. Yeah.
So there's a kaboom in every box then, right?
Yeah. Well, kabooms in every product.
We'll see.
Actually, there shouldn't be kabooms in this product.
No, there shouldn't.
No.
Something went very well for you guys if there's a
wrong,
kaboom in here.
yes.
Yeah, something went very wrong in the factory if
Right.
there's a kaboom in here.
Yeah.
Although we've
Which is
seen
fine by
stranger
me.
things happen because the fact, your factory that packages this stuff and produces it also does packaging for other products and for other companies as
For
well.
everybody. Yeah.
Everyone, yeah.
So I have seen a Topps card come out of a Panini pack before.
Have you really?
Extremely
That's
rare.
pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I have seen a card. It wasn't valuable. It was like a base card of something that was like it was Prism that came out of a select box. But it was not part of the NBA 75th anniversary where the
I was going to
optics
say
were
because
in
you know about the
Prism and the
optic
prisms were in
swap
optic.
there,
No, it was not that. So it was, it's just one of those weird things that, look, I mean, it probably just got mixed in by accident and just made it through the pack out process. And, once it's sealed in the packs, nobody is going to notice the difference.
That numbered, Drew?
Yeah, 149.
Nice.
Wow. Way to go. Way to go. So here's the thing. Pick a color. And this isn't on you. This is, the people that designed the product. Pick a color. Pick a print run to number that color too, and make it consistent through every single one of the products. Because the reds are out of 149 out of this product, but then
I mean, at least we can all agree that the golds are out of 10. But I totally agree with that. And in some products, I've even seen they'll have the same colored parallel, not always have the same serial number. So like some of the reds are out of 99, some of them are 149. Not particularly this product, but I've seen that in some products. I'm like,
well, Prism Baseball a couple years ago had red. I think it was a red disco out of 199, but the red disco inserts were numbered to 149. Or sorry, and I may have seen one to, or maybe it was 149 and 99 or something.
I believe it's Scott.
There's a good one, John Michi the third.
Hey, that's a good signature too. Look at that.
You got to appreciate someone that'll take the time to sign the autos,
dude. It goes a long way for me. I literally respect the athlete more who takes a little bit longer to sign something, making it somewhat legible, and just a full name is nice these days.
And I give a lot of credit to especially the college athletes that are doing this or the young pros.
Well, you remember the video, it was right before you came in, Jeff, that Admiral Schofield did for Panini, where he showed you that he literally went and learned cursive.
Right.
Specifically to be able to sign his autograph. And
Tracy Hackler collected him specifically because of that.
Yeah, and that was one of my favorite videos.
I will tell you, normally I would say that, that's a failed school system because they're supposed to be teaching kids this. But in Admiral's specific instance, I know the district. He grew up in Waukegan, Illinois. I know the school district up there, and I am not surprised in the least bit that he did not learn cursive.
You don't think they're focusing on cursive?
Oh God, no! They're not focusing. They're not focusing on they're not focusing on a lot of stuff up in Waukegan.
Do kids even bring a pen to class anymore?
They do. They do. I've got a fourth grader and a freshman in high school, and they still write things on paper. And there's a lot of stuff that's done on the iPads and on the computers and things like that. But they're still writing. So.
Back in my day, we had to chisel things onto stone.
Your day and my day are not that far apart, if they're apart at all. We had computer labs, but everything was still handwritten, and we had to go type. And I saw somewhere that like somebody had a floppy disk that they showed to their kids, and their kids are like, "Why did you 3D print the save icon?"
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
All right, so as we're rolling through this, Jeff, and once again, thanks so much for joining the show, guys. We are with Panini's Jeff Hoffer, and it's kind of become a annual tradition now. You were on the show for our last holiday show, and you've been on since then, but you were here last time, right around when you started with
Panini. That was January, right? Is that right?
Yeah. It was about it was pretty close to it. Well, when you came on, Tracy was on with us last year, and you popped on as a surprise, as the new Tracy.
Yeah.
Which we're dropping. We're going to drop that name because you've been there a year.
Yeah. I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
As
So
much as I love Tracy, no
so
one wants
how
to be
has
the
the
new
last-
anybody.
No.
But how has the last year been?
Yeah.
It has been a wild ride, guys. As you can imagine, a lot to learn, and I'm still learning quite a bit. But it's a wild deal marketing as many products as we put out. So I didn't know quite what to expect, but it's been cool. And immersed in sports cards for an entire year has been a wild, wild thing. And you know what? It was a great first year because I got to be on board for a World Cup, which is not obviously not every year. So that was really cool experience, and I'm happy I got to be on board for one of those. But like I said, man, the ultimate takeaway from this past year is that it is an absolute miracle that anything makes it to the market with everything that has to go right in order for a product to be released. It's
all right. So before I know Drew's going to want to talk about this basketball thing he's been harping on for a little while.
Well, no, I've got a question that but go on.
No, go ahead, because I was leading into that with a question about.
Okay, no, well, I wanted to just ask because I know Jeff, you like myself.
It's like that game Guess Who, where you flip down.
That's why we have padding like right in front of.
Not your first rodeo, Drew.
No,
it's a good thing those are PC and not for sale.
That's very true too, but so I know you have a background in like a lot of in doing media stuff like that, just like I do. And I know when you got there, one of the things that you were talking about when we talked to you right after you got in was how much you were looking forward to doing, some videos and using that talent that you had learned over decades of doing some incredible work in film and everything. How have you enjoyed doing that? Because I will say one thing, and that's that Panini's overall, the whole presence and the whole presentation from a visual aspect has changed quite a bit in the last year, and it's much for the better. And I can see your influence in it, but I just wanted to get your feel on how that's been, and have you enjoyed, being able to put that to work with cards.
Well, thank you very much. That's my favorite compliment about this job, because it's literally my favorite thing that I do there is creating these release trailers, is what I've nicknamed them. But, I love, from coming from the film world, I love trailers and cutting trailers. Sure. It's a blast. I mean, so many movies that were a horrible movie had a great trailer.
Oh yeah.
And it's,
one of my favorites.
I mean, we've all seen them where they looked great when you saw the trailer and it did not live up to that. Yeah. So I just enjoy that kind of medium, but getting to do that for a product release is extra cool because it's just combining those two worlds that I love. So to answer your question, that's been my absolute favorite thing, but I've tried to really not just influence the release promos that we've been putting out, but try to influence all of the video that we've been doing. And I have my hands in about 90% of the stuff we put out. I still have some teammates that do some of the other videos, so I can't take credit for those. But I've tried to kind of, bring up that whole quality, because we make a great looking product. And I always say your marketing needs to do that justice, whatever your product is, whether it's a car or a sports card. And I feel like we're getting there. I think there's always room for improvement, but I'm happy with the quality that we've been releasing, just from a marketing standpoint.
No, I completely agree. I like I said, you can definitely see a difference. I think it's wonderful, and I always look forward to them. I think they're awesome.
Thank you.
And I hope you're able to expand that even more, because I know there's a lot you can bring to the table on that side of things. And when you were hired for that role, even when you weren't on the show, I know Scott and I were talking about it a lot. And that's one thing I would always bring up, is that the creative aspect from the visual and the marketing side of things is where, I think you will always excel at, especially when it comes to putting that to use in cards. So it's been an awesome first year there.
Wait until we go full blown, narrative sort of commercial pieces and long form commercial where we're, doing more live action shoots and not just visual effects. Because I've tried to keep them kind of simple from a production standpoint, even though they still have that dramatic flair I'm going for. But there's a lot more we can do incorporating professional athletes, and I'm
I'll tell you, I've got some ideas about that. We'll talk about that off.
All right.
So I gotta ask. This wasn't the question I was originally going to ask, but has the last couple of years obviously have been hard with COVID and production delays, things like that. Have they communicated internally with you guys about anything like the production schedule getting back to normal? Because we used to have like Prism basketball was always a mid-November release. Football was I think October or something like that.
Oh, it was 6 months late. Yeah, it was crazy.
Longer. I mean, both products last year came out after the seasons were over.
Yeah.
You had actually, I think Prism Draft basketball came out toward like right at the end of the playoffs.
At the end of the playoffs.
And these are guys that are like they've already had products in their NBA uniforms.
Yeah.
And we've got that. So I mean, have they talked about that at all? Whether or not it's going to get back to how it used to be, or
well, it's always, nothing is ever a certainty, but yes, they strongly believe that we will be caught up in 2023. So that that's obviously the goal, but it's going to require some very productive first couple months of the year in order to get there. But I have faith. I have no reason to think they won't do that if they're saying they're going to do that. So
yeah.
And we know, and I just want to preface this, we know that not all of those issues are Panini's fault.
Sure.
There's been issues sourcing the card stock for specific products. And we know that there's, when one product gets delayed, it forces the printer's schedule to shift. And it's like, all right, well, we have to print this other product for somebody else or even for Panini because this has been on the schedule for a while and we have the supplies for it.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, when can you fit it in? Well, we can fit it in June. And, we're sitting in November because the printer plans out their
domino
production
effect.
schedule. Yeah,
it really is. Yeah. It's
So I just want to put out there, it's like, I'm not saying any of this is Panini's fault in any way. I was just curious to see whether or not if they've talked about like the schedule getting back to how it used to be.
No, Scott, and you're 100% welcome to ask questions like that because as a collector, I want to know that stuff too. So,
all right, well, that leads me into the question I was going to ask, and I'm going to. And I know this is not on you personally.
Oh, I can't answer this one. Sorry. All
right, well, so this is a good perspective. So,
lay it on me.
You and I, when we were in Atlantic City, you and I talked about because I wanted to try to swap out a redemption. I had that SGA rookie from Obsidian that I've been waiting on for over 3 years now. Now, Obsidian are sticker autos, as it should be. It's fine. That's how the product goes. Well, fast forward a couple of months, and one of my grading customers sent me an Obsidian card from I think it was 21-22.
It was this year's. Yeah, it was 21-22.
21-22.
Yeah.
With the same sticker auto that you needed?
With the same sticker auto that I needed on that redemption I've been waiting for 3 years. Have you heard of any? I mean, obviously, you're not in customer service. You're not sitting there answering the phone, answering emails, things like that.
Yeah.
But have you heard of anything, about like that kind of stuff? Because in my opinion, they should have fulfilled the redemptions for the people that have been waiting. And it's probably not just me. There's probably there's at least 50 other, or 49 other of the orange ones, like the one I'm waiting on, that, are either unfulfilled or still sitting in product. But shouldn't those get created first to fulfill the
100%? Yeah. I mean, that's super frustrating. I can't justify that. I don't know why that happened, Scott. I honestly don't. I have no explanation for that because it shouldn't have happened that way. So,
okay, Glad you agree.
I totally agree. That's crummy on us. I wish I could say, you know what, I know why that happened, and I'm gonna fix that on Monday. But
but you don't.
It's I honestly don't understand why that would have happened, but I would be annoyed just the same.
Yeah, it's been eating at me for a while now, and I tried shot an email out, and obviously no response or anything like that. So I'm like,
well, to commiserate with you, I have a 2019 Tyler Hero auto I'm still waiting on.
That'd be a good one to get back right about now, because he's been playing really well lately.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, so, it does seem like, and I don't know if you can speak on this at all, but it does seem like a lot more redemptions are coming back lately. I know you guys did kind of tweak the policy a little bit and changed everything up some, but it does seem like I look at the weekly redemption reports just to see what's being filled, what's coming on the market, things like that.
Because you have nothing else to do, but it's all good.
Well, no, I'll go buy those redemptions if they're good cards. If they're good cards, I'll buy the redemption.
It's good bathroom reading. What can I say?
Well, no, if it's good cards, I buy the redemption.
For
if
sure.
It's a good card, I'll buy the
smart
redemption. I know it's live. Yeah. I mean, so I look at it all the time to see who's signing and what we're waiting on from certain products. And things like that, but it does seem like a lot more redemptions have been coming back lately, as that report's been pretty crowded.
They are definitely making a push, and it's hiring more people. It's trying to figure out what to do with some older redemptions. And again, I'm, as you mentioned, thank the Lord, I'm not in customer service. Yeah. So I don't know everything that's going on over there. I don't even work in the same building as them, but I know they're trying to rectify this. It's just, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of patience, unfortunately, on behalf of collectors to try to get this all figured out.
All right. Well, if you're going to bring back anything aside from the redemption issue, I want you to bring back this to the team. We need more stuff like this. Remember these? Yeah. I found these in a box. I found these in a box.
B.I.G.
And Tupac.
Yeah.
The problem is I can't get these two that close together because somebody's going to get shot.
Yeah. Are those the kabooms?
No, these are the Panini HRXs that came out.
Yeah.
Inserts in, I want to say it was a Black Friday pack or a Father's Day pack or something like that. I'm trying to. But they're from 2013. We need more stuff like this,
dude. If those were autographed, that'd be a serious collector's item.
You know what? If these were autographed, I would say there is a serious problem because these came out in 2013.
Post-mortem.
Yeah, good call. Yeah.
Although both guys, I think, have released new stuff.
Could have been sticker autos. Sometimes they get those sticker autos and then put them on.
I don't think they were doing. I don't think they.
Look at Maradona. Maradona showed up in some products after he.
Yeah, but you guys were sitting on autographed Maradona stickers for a long time.
Maradona.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody was doing
about the Spinatron bounty.
Yes.
Let's talk
that was
about
the next. That was the
next. I
next.
haven't got to talk about this with anybody yet.
Well, no, yeah, that was one thing I was going to bring up because I know when we talked to you last, we talked a lot about, and I know you deal a lot in with the NFT program. What do you think about this? A $30,000 bounty on a 101 NFT. I mean, I saw you guys, I think sold over 22,000 World Cup packs yesterday, something like that. And really hit a lot of like top crypto moves of the day and everything like that. I mean, it was incredible. The effect that's going to have on the card market, his 1 of 1, like what does that do to it?
It's wild. Well, and the black 1 of 1 sticker of Messi was pulled.
Yeah.
And that was pulled in some soccer shop in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, not too far. And
that's that's what I love about these stickers is they're literally everywhere. You don't need to go to a card shop. You can go to Walgreens has them. You can go to the soccer shop, the place where I buy my referee gear sells them.
Yeah.
Like they're literally everywhere.
I like that too. I don't want to stray away from your question, Drew, though, but
Yeah.
I think that is a healthy bounty. I don't know. I would, if you'd ask me, hey, what do you think this this black 101 Messi NFT would sell for? I probably would have said like I don't want to say, but I don't know that I would have gone to 30K.
I would have said 10 to 15,000, and I'll go, and that's just because I do deal in the NFTs a lot, and that's why I appreciate you guys tossing in some holiday packs back at Thanksgiving. That was sweet. I ended up with a lot, and I was like, wow, I think that means I buy a lot because I got a lot. I was like, pretty
That's
sure,
cool.
but I buy a ton of them, and I see the sales and stuff like that. I would have guessed maybe 10, 15, but putting that 30 on it is very interesting to me because I know also, this is a soccer market we're talking about also, which is a very global market, as well as crypto, which is very big overseas as well. And
True.
so I can kind of see 30,000, but when I heard it, I was just like, that's incredible. And my immediate thought was, what does that do for the cards and everything like that? And the value of his 1/1, how people value Prism World Cup in general, how they value that set, because no other Messi 1/1s or in any other product are commanding anything.
No,
And
I
you've got them
think the
you
black
got Mosaic 1/1s. It's not got a 30K bounty, but that Prism World Cup that can have a heavy impact on the value of cards as well. So it's a huge
Prism
thing,
as a product is going to be the top product, period. Unless of course you're doing like a National Treasures or something like that. But it's a of like the mainstream like crazy short
collector brands.
Yeah. The black, I believe the actual black 1/1 actual card got pulled.
That and the black auto got pulled.
No,
right
that was
wasn't
that the black choice auto?
The Nebula?
Yeah. No, I think there's a black auto
the black scope. The black scope.
Black scope.
The black scope.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know there's a black auto pulled and then the black base.
Right, but I think the true black from Hobby 1/1 auto, I think, is still out there.
Still out there.
Yeah.
I like to hear that.
Yeah. No, I know there's at least a couple that are still out there, but I did see that the choice, not if it's not choice, whichever one the scope was in that set. I know that one was pulled, and then the base was pulled. I think 2 days before the championship. It was pulled just a couple of days ago. I think.
Who was it? I think wasn't it Platinum that pulled it?
No, Cherry Collectibles.
Yeah,
Cherry
Cherry Collectibles pulled.
Okay,
shout out Cherry.
Did you guys see another World Cup related pull? The gold vinyl Mbappe was pulled from a retail pack from Walmart.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I didn't even know that was possible.
I didn't.
Why can't I get crap like that? No, I pulled, and I didn't think this was going to be possible with the blasters, but I pulled a oh crap, what's that insert called? Not the National Pride. Manga, thank you.
Yeah.
I hit a manga out of a blaster. I mean, it was Manuel Neuer, but it's
I didn't know they were in there either. That's wild.
I know. But see, I like things like that because that takes you back and brings everything, back into the chase.
Exactly. And I think it makes it a little bit more like the stickers. It's all accessible. You can buy a $20 box or a $30 box and potentially hit that.
Keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You can go in and you can buy something, make an impulse purchase as you're checking out at Walmart and potentially at a gold vinyl versus having to, find a hobby shop that carries it.
Yeah, and that was and I'll tell you the box that the manga was in, that was a random trip to Target, and I wasn't even looking for cards. I just glanced over in that section, and it was like tucked in like behind a bunch of other blasters. It was literally the only Prism World Cup blaster that was there. Wow. And it had the manga, and it had the Gakpo blue to $199.
Wow,
nice work.
Yeah, good blaster.
Yeah,
good blaster.
There you go.
So are you guys soccer fans outside of World Cup?
Oh, yes.
You are?
yes.
Big time. My kid plays, his kid plays, he refs, I coach.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No kidding.
Big
Okay.
time.
I follow
soccer.
Premier League and La Liga pretty closely, and
Yeah.
Bundesliga to a certain extent.
Nice. Okay, you guys are the real deal.
And I'm going to tell you guys, there's a couple of players that are so underrated. I'm going to give you my secret right now.
Yeah.
And normally defensemen don't sell for very. So defensemen and goalies in soccer are kind of like pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
You know, unless they're like the absolute number one, they don't sell for very well.
Yeah.
This is a guy, and I'm sorry, I'm holding up a Topps card.
It's okay. No.
But this is the guy that you want to keep an eye out for. Sven Boatman. He is with Lille in Champions League products this year, but he just moved this season to Newcastle in the Premier League.
Okay.
He is their starting center back. Okay. And Newcastle, which is typically a 14th to 8th place team year over. They're sitting 4th in the Premier League right now. And Boatman is the only change they really made this year. They have had 7 clean sheets. Now for soccer people, clean sheet is a shutout.
Yeah.
So 7.
Wow.
The only real change they made was bringing Boatman in as their center back. So that's their primary defenseman.
Worked for Morocco.
Yeah. So keep an eye on him. That kid is going to be absolutely insane. And I think the 2026 World Cup, he is Dutch. So he is from the Netherlands. He is going to be the replacement for Virgil van Dijk.
Okay. Interesting.
What do you guys think having the World Cup stateside will do for soccer cards? I mean, this World Cup alone has given it a nice bump.
I think it is going to be insane.
I think the soccer market, everyone I like everyone, like all the meme pages and all this junk does. You see all this stuff say, "Oh, the World Cup's over," back to no one caring about soccer. That's just absurd. There's going to be so much attention paid on soccer, especially like Scott was saying before, with no off season like normal. We're going right back into play. We're getting right back into the thick of things. Heck, Holland hasn't even been playing. We get to see him tearing stuff up again. I mean, I think the next couple years, I think even leading up to the Women's World Cup, I think that gives a renewed interest in the men's market as well. And I think we're in for a good Women's Cup. But then when it comes stateside, it's going to be huge.
Hold on, Jeff. Let me ask you about this. Speaking of the Women's World Cup, Topps started doing Women's Premier League and Women's Champions League products.
Okay.
This past year. Knowing that Panini has the FIFA license for World Cup, is there a plan for a Women's World Cup product coming out next year?
Yeah. Good call. No clue.
Because that would be very interesting. You guys you put out Prism WNBA.
Yeah,
it's actually a very good product.
Hey, I'm about to open a Let It Rip next week. Shout out to Let It Rip next week. We're opening WNBA Revolution, so come check it out.
There you go.
Yeah, very good product.
But I'll tell you, Prism WNBA actually sells really well, considering that the people that follow the WNBA are few and far between. But the people that follow women's soccer, especially the national team, is actually a higher number than the people that follow the NBA.
And you have Trinity Rodman coming in, which is Dennis Rodman's daughter.
Really?
Yes.
She's going to be the future face of women's soccer. It's going to be Dennis Rodman's daughter. Her name's Trinity Rodman. She's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, a random company has put out over the last couple of years an NWSL product, and Trinity Rodman's cards actually out of that comes out. It sells really well.
It does. I have like 10 graded.
So, given that you guys have the FIFA license for the World Cup products, I mean, obviously this would have had to have been in the works prior to now. But if you guys aren't taking advantage of putting out a Women's World Cup, right? Even if it's only Prism, like you don't need to do Mosaic, you don't need to do NT or anything. Although NT would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, NT.
Prism, even if it didn't have any autographs in it, That product would sell. I think it would actually sell better than the WNBA products.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, guys, you're telling the wrong person.
Yeah,
You're telling the marketing guy.
Yeah, but you know the marketing guy. That's the best part.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and that's something I can pass along to the soccer team and say, hey,
yeah,
are we doing this? There's interest, but I don't want to say it's not happening because I haven't heard anything about it yet. But I have a feeling it's not going to happen.
Yeah. But to answer the question, though, I think with the Women's World Cup coming up, because the United States women's team is such a powerhouse, unlike the United States men's team, who was I don't want to say lucky to qualify this year, but because they really did have a good tournament. The women's team has been a powerhouse for years. So there's a lot of people stateside here that follow the Women's World Cup. Specifically because and then you get the Trinity Rodman coming on and things like that, and that's going to be absolutely insane. But that I think is going to do nothing but help the card market period, but soccer in general, because you only have a 6-month gap because of the delay with the World Cup being in Qatar this year and having to be done in November and December instead of typically June and July when it's done. So you would have a year gap normally. You only have a 6-month gap between the Men's World Cup and the Women's World Cup. And, the longer it goes in between, people tend to forget. So the shorter period of time, this World Cup, the Men's World Cup, is still going to be fresh in the minds of people that watch soccer. And, the new people that just got into soccer, they're going to be watching the women's games. I think there's going to be just as much excitement, with those games, and they're going to be exciting to watch as much as the men's games were, and I think that's gonna do nothing but help the market.
Yep. No, I completely agree. But what do you think, Jeff? I mean, how do you see it in 4 years, at least in terms of soccer?
How do I see what
the card market? What do you like
I love it because I think, especially from a collector standpoint, if you don't take advantage of this 4-year runway to diversify yourself into some World Cup soccer cards, I think it's you're missing a really cool opportunity now, and you get to see all of those players play in their different leagues between now and then, so you can keep track of their progress. A lot of the stars in the World Cup are so young. I can't believe Mbappe is 24.
I know.
He's so seasoned to watch him play.
Well, but let's forgetting the World Cup for a minute here. Don't forget, Panini's also got the license for the Premier League. You also have La Liga. You've got Serie A in Italy. You can get, and this was something we were joking about, maybe 6 months ago when Erling Haaland made the move from Dortmund to Man City in the Premier League. Is when the 22-23 Prism and Mosaic Premier League products come out. Are you going to throw, is Panini going to throw a rookie card logo on Haaland's cards? Because technically he's a Premier League rookie.
Yeah.
Whether or not this guy, and again, you don't know that. That's the marketing people, the product designers, things like that. But this will be Erling Haaland's first card.
I mean, I think they will. If like the UFC is any indication for something like that, you have Michael Chandler who came over from Bellator. Yep. I think he was fought for a long time. And then he got a rookie designation in 2021 products. So, and he'd been fighting for like a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, and how many times has Panini done a Prism card of Hailie Deegan in NASCAR with the NASCAR products with a rookie logo on it?
Has it been multiple years?
It's been multiple years.
Okay. Wow. Lucky her.
Yeah,
I know.
I think every time she moves up a level or something like that, they throw a rookie card logo on it. 2018, 2020, 2021, there was all a variation.
Oh, wait, since 2018, she's been getting rookie shields? That's pretty interesting.
So, I think it would be warranted to have it on Haaland's cards. But you're also going to see the first card of Haaland in a Man City uniform is going to be in either Prism or Mosaic. I'm not sure which one coming out first, but that's going to be. I think that's going to be a huge driver of the product.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's going to be a lot of moves going on between now and the next World Cup, enough to keep you interested, because a lot of these big name players now are on the move right now. There's a lot of uncertainty where a lot of these younger guys are going to move, because a lot of them are on some, younger developmental type teams that are about to make a big leap, whether it be to a different league or to a bigger team. And then will the coach use them? Will some of these great rookies that got sat on the bench and had their World Cup spot taken away, like Ricardo Pepi, will he rebound and, become something huge? There's so many great storylines in soccer. I just think by the time the World Cup in 4 years rolls around, the soccer market's going to be 10 times better than it is today. And I'd argue that it's one of the strongest markets around right now. I mean, the World Cup's been over. I've still been selling soccer. I've had no problem with the demand for soccer, and I've been buying a lot of soccer. So that's just where I see it going.
No, I agree. It's interesting. You'll see a lot of people who soccer was the first sport they collected.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because it's only kind of matured over the last 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Even though soccer cards have been out since the 60s, maybe even before then. But yeah, the soccer collector is a very interesting thing to me, because there are some very savvy types that I don't know what it is about that particular collector, but they seem to be more savvy. There's a lot of crossover between soccer collectors and crypto and NFTs for whatever reason. But yeah,
And look, just with those three things, I would rather put my money into soccer cards than either crypto or NFTs.
Yeah.
And it still boggles the mind that, especially after what's happened in the last 2 years in both of those markets, it boggles the mind that people are still throwing money at NFTs and at crypto.
Well, $30,000 bounty placed on the Messi 1-of-1 Prism. Pretty amazing.
I want to know who that guy's crack dealer is, because I want some of that.
Honestly, to Drew's point earlier, I didn't even consider this, but when you're able to pay in crypto, that changes the landscape of what people are willing to pay, and some people who are sitting on a ton of crypto are willing to fork out a little bit more money for something if they can pay in crypto, and you can on our marketplace.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that has a lot to do with it, I think, too. Especially when you look at, like you were saying, the company that put the bid out, and once again, it's probably more of an overseas buy, which, like I said, crypto is also very big overseas as well. So, it has a crossover appeal, but it's definitely great for you guys to have a bounty like that thrown out of nowhere.
Doesn't hurt.
On those cards. But I mean, they were selling way before that bounty was thrown out. I mean, that bounty was thrown out after they saw like first day sales. They were like, Messi's not pulled, so we want it.
Do you guys think, I don't see those packs lasting, another 6 months, certainly probably a month at this rate, if even, but do you think if they lasted a month, they would keep that 30 grand bounty out, or do you think some of the World Cup buzz would wear off and they would?
Well, here's my thinking on that. Did they put an expiration date on the bounty?
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
No.
The way I see it is, if you put out a bounty like that,
that's
and it doesn't say, hey, if it's this is good within the next 30 days.
Yeah.
And like 5 months from now, somebody opens up one of those packs, if they're still around, and they pull it, and they don't honor that bounty, that's not a good look.
No, that is
for them.
No.
That's why you're going to throw something out like that, and you got concerns about whether or not it's going to take 6 months to actually see it, and you're worried about the market because you want to be able to flip it quickly. Put an expiration date on it.
Yeah,
right.
But they didn't do that. So I think they kind of have to honor it just to keep the name.
I think you're right. Yeah,
keep their reputation intact.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, guys, it is about time to wrap up the show. But before we go, Jeff, once again, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's always great to have you on. Always a pleasure. If you'd
Good
like
to see your faces. I saw Scott and got to talk to him at the national, but Drew, I saw you on a panel, but I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw you watching us down there. I was like, "Dang it, there he is!" And then every time, like literally, the 2 times I wasn't slave driven at a booth, I got away and tried to get over there and made it over there twice, and you weren't there. And I was like, "We're not going to catch each other." But then I saw you check out the Hobby Hotline panel. I appreciate that, man.
Of course, man. Well, the National is a busy time for folks like us, so I don't fault anybody. I get it, but it's great seeing both of you again, and thank you guys for thinking of me, and hope you guys have a very happy holiday.
Yes, you.
Yeah, you too. I will reach out to you tomorrow with. We'll talk about that idea that I mentioned earlier in the show.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
All right, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Jeff.
Okay, appreciate you guys. Talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Okay, all right, bye-bye.
Once again, guys, that was Jeff Hoffer, aka Pat Geek. You can follow him on all social medias. Normally, I ask people to do this, but I won't make him plug himself. You can follow him on all social medias at Pat Geek, and over at Panini America, of course, as he handles those socials as well. But Jeff, one of the best people in this industry, and I'm going to tell you right now. I mean, Tracy, amazing, a legend over there.
I love Tracy.
I love Tracy to death, and he'll be on the show very, very, very soon. I'm just giving it a little bit of time with some stuff going on, but he'll be on the show very shortly. But Jeff has done such incredible things over there, and they're just from the marketing to communication to everything, just in terms of social media. It's been phenomenal. So thank you, Jeff, for coming on the show.
So, got an interesting package from Topps. And I didn't even tell you I was going to bring this up because I didn't.
We got to wrap up in a few. So
I know. But I got this interesting package from Topps this week. It had 5 home run challenge cards in it.
Dude, I'm waiting on home run challenge cards from 3 years ago.
All right. So here's the deal with these, though.
Yeah. They don't send them to you?
No. They sent them to me. Mine were actually the ones that I redeemed for these and picked the dates on.
Yeah.
They were losers.
And they sent you winners?
And they still sent me 5 winners of 5.
What were they numbered out of?
So the Soto to 370, Matt Olson.
So then they messed up and they took everyone.
I think so. Well, but here's the thing. Matt Olson to 1,090. That's actually the highest I've ever seen a home run challenge card.
Wow. Yeah, that is a lot.
Bellinger to 357, Jose Ramirez to 563.
Are the dates near the end of the season?
Yeah, they were end of the season. And Salvador Perez to 436 was the last one. These are September's, I think. Yeah, these are.
See, the one that I won on was the day that Mookie Betts came back from that year-long injury against the Yankees and hit 3 home runs. Only like 3 people or 4 people picked that game. So mine was going to be out of like 3 or 4. No, I never got it.
No. It's not the game. It's the entire month.
Oh no, this was like years ago.
Oh no. I know, but even years ago, it should have been the entire month. Like
but it was the last day of the month.
Well, right, but anything, Oh, that's right, because he came back from injury.
Came back the last day of the month. So yeah.
So I want to know, and I want to know what's up with Topps. Just shoot me those cards. Ned, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
But those were losers. I didn't pick winners on those.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's something. But
I thought it was a weird thing. Like I got the email, like you got these winners. I'm like, no, I didn't. Huh? What? I thought it was spam. I thought it was somebody trying to hack my account. Or whatever. So I looked at my account. I didn't click on the links. I actually went to Topps, logged in my account, and sure enough, they're there. It's like, holy crap.
Hey, well,
what I do?
In other news, all is right in the world. Michael Porter Jr. is on the injured reserve. So, I mean, all is right with the world again. Hey, he lasted
right in the world
almost until Christmas. I think if we travel back to June, it's always Father's Day. But if we travels back to our Father's Day episode, I'm pretty sure I said by Christmas. So I think
you did say by Christmas. So this is all right. So look, the world's getting back to normal. Yeah. Everybody's traveling again. Everybody's going home. Everybody's doing their Christmas thing. You know, Michael Porter Jr. is on the injured list. Chicago's about to get 18 to 24 inches worth of snow Thursday and Friday this week.
Panthers are winning games.
The Bears are still sitting at 3 wins. My mother refuses to change her travel plans because she's supposed to be driving to Ohio on Friday. And you know, even in this blizzard with 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts blowing around,
change your plans, Mama.
So look, all is right. All is right in the world. Things are back to normal.
Yeah, things are back to normal.
Merry motherfucking Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to everyone else up there. It is the second day of Hanukkah, I think.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that. Oh no, today's the third candle Hanukkah.
When you grow up, third. Yesterday was second. Sorry, when you grow up in South Florida, you remember these things, even if
you would think my people. You know, these are my people. You would think I would have remembered about the Hanukkah thing, but no.
I know.
No. Yeah, that's what happens when I celebrated a week early with my family.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. We had a couple other topics we're going to touch on today, but we're going to pocket those till next week's show after the holidays. So we will be off the rest of this week. We'll put this up on if you'd like to listen to it again, or if you missed any part of the show, we will have it up on our audio tomorrow morning, so you'll be able to check that out as well. But I do want to thank our awesome sponsors, Slab Strong, Vandy Slabs, Show Your Slabs, Treasure Hunter Sports Cards, and of course Card Ladder. We could not do the show without you guys, and of course Panini and Upper Deck for Let Her Rip. And, of course, Panini's Jeff Hoffer for joining the show today. And we will have Let Her Rip next week as well. And we'll be back to our normal weekly schedule here right after the holidays. But
one last sponsor, Drew. I do want to thank Scotch.
Yes, Scotch.
Yes, the cause and solution to all of the world's problems.
You heard it here. I mean, you can't trust anything else. There you go. Well, we do hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever you're in the mood to celebrate, holidays, whatever it is. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that stuff. We'll talk to you before the New Year, so I'll say that later. Y'all have a good one. But until then, keep ripping those packs, pulling those hits. We'll talk to you then. Peace.